For this video, we are going to illustrate the use of Lagrange theorem in identifying or determining probably or verifying the subgroups that we have determined for a certain group. By the way, let me return to the previously discussed video, this one here. This is actually identifying the subgroups of a set, a G with elements 1, 2, 3, 4, as shown in the Cayley's table below. We don't know how the binary operation is defined, but basically Cayley's table is also the other way of telling us how the operation is being operated. Now, at this given example, we're able to identify the given subgroup here. This was the subgroups that we have determined. We have actually gathered 3 different subgroups for set G. Now, let us use the Lagrange theorem to further illustrate that what we had actually determined in the previous video is actually true. Now, take note, our set G is a set containing elements 1, 2, 3, and 4. And don't forget that the Lagrange theorem tells us only about the orders of subgroups that can be formed. It doesn't tell us the elements in each of the subgroup, but this is a guide in telling us that making use of, or making most of our time, meaning trimming down some steps, because we can guarantee that some of the possible orders are not possible to be there. Now take note here that for the Lagrange theorem, it tells us the order of G, which it will be used, and then later on the possible orders of subgroups. The order of G here is 4. Okay, so it tells us that if for any subgroup H that can be formed in the group G, the order of that subgroup H is a divisor of the order of the given set G. Since the order of G is 4 and its divisors are actually 1, 2, and 4. These are the only possible orders for our subgroups. Okay, and the first subgroup that we have determined in this video here, I'm just going to write it here, is the G itself. We actually determined the G itself as one of the possible subgroups. This is actually called as improper subgroup, the set itself. And the order of this is actually 4. So this checks one of the orders possible for any subgroup. Okay, the second subgroup here, okay, is actually identified as a set containing the identity element 1. I'm not going to discuss anymore how 1 was determined. We have a video for that, but for the purpose of the illustration of Lagrange theorem, we have here the set containing 1. So the order of this, okay, is just equal to 1. This patterns to the other factor of our or divisor of the order of our set G. This is why, according to the Lagrange theorem, we are guaranteed to have these 2. So aside from the idea that the set itself is a subgroup and the set containing the identity element is also a subgroup, we are guaranteed for them to be considered as subgroups because they are also divisors of the order of set G. Now let's look at this middle here. We are guaranteed that there is a subgroup, according to Lagrange theorem, we are guaranteed that there is a subgroup of order 2. We just don't know what the elements are, but there is a subgroup of order 2. And take note of what was our third subgroup determined. It's actually set containing 1 and 4. So set containing 1 and 4 is the third subgroup that we have determined, and the order of this, I don't know if I'm using the correct notation, is actually 2. So all of this are connected, or this means this is the further proof that the Lagrange theorem is helpful in identifying the subgroups. Because if we start with this, we are guaranteed that, okay, the set itself is counted, the set containing the identity element is counted, and only I'm going to look at pairs of elements. My point here is, since 3 is not a divisor of 4, there's no need for me to look at possible groups of 3, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 4, etc., etc. Because according to the Lagrange theorem, 3 is not a divisor of 4. There's no need for me to do this. But in that video, we actually illustrated that as well. That when we reach 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, even 2, 3, 4, there are some axioms that are not met. For 1, 2, 3 is the axiom on a closure property. 1, 3, 2 is axiom on closure property as well. And for 2, 3, 4 is the existence of identity element. this is the further proof that really there's no subgroup of order 3 for the given set here, and supported by the Lagrange theorem, since 3 is not the divisor or a factor of 4, so no need for us to look into that. So the point here being is, if we are presented with another group later on and we are asked to determine the subgroups, it would be easier for us to look at the possibility of what would our subgroup will look like, because the order will tell us with this specific theorem. But again, the caution is very important. It doesn't mean that 2 is a factor of 4, then we are going to force ourselves in finding a subgroup with order 2. It's not all the time true. We are just so lucky that it's true here. But if our set, our group rather, yes, it's also a set, and all of the subsets, even the binary operation itself, are defined differently, there's no guarantee that this will occur. But this is just a guide that we don't need to look at other possible orders, because we are looking at the divisors as orders of our group G. Okay, so that is the use of a Lagrange theorem. In the next few videos, let's try to introduce or integrate this idea as we look into the subgroups of the given sets as well. Thank you very much for watching.